Hey guys, this is Polar here, and today I'm going to do the review of the 1214 First Gear High Grade Gundam Gusion, the Gusion itself. Now, unfortunately, this kit's a little bit of a letdown rather than a little enjoyment. I do like this kit at first, but then, I'm kind of thinking about it, it's a little bit of a letdown. I'll explain it later, but it's still decent, I will say. Another thing I want to say is that, I did not fully airbrush this kit, mainly because of the fact that, well, first my airbrush kind of died after I put on the armor on. I tried cleaning my airbrush after I put on the painting the armor, which is the green parts, except for these greens. Yeah, didn't work. I tried everything, but sadly, it didn't work. So, the other guys said my airbrush kinda old, so not old. It was used actually, so it was secondhand, hand me down from my friends, so it kinda died on me. So yeah, and unfortunately for this kid, it's like I said, it's a letdown. So but it's not really much of a too bad of a letdown. I would say it's good in some way, but still, I'm not actually pleased that will be. Right, let's go on to term the sticker. Sticker wise, you don't get a lot actually. You get the eyes, the white on the sides here, these grays on the torso, and the Brutus logo there. And do I forgot to mention that this kit is really bulky and actually smaller than I thought it would be. I thought it was quite big, like probably bigger than this thing, but turns out this is actually smaller. I'm surprised. Now, for terms of seam line numbers are kind of fine, I guess, but the seam lines, I can tell they are terrible. Look at this. These shoulder here is a little bad seam line. Like there's bad seam lines here. There's a bad seam line on the legs. There's a seam line on the torso, but you wouldn't really notice that. But overall, seam line is not as good actually. And yeah, I gotta say it's a really kind of heavy seam lines in this kit. Before I go on with the articulation, this kit's inner frame is not complete, and for second to most, it's a completely new frame rather than a Gundam frame. There are elements of Gundam framing here, like the torso here. There are piston details right here, and then the next element of Gundam frame I can see is the arms right here. I don't know if that's it in terms of I can see from a Gundam frame because this is a completely new frame. So I thought I would use the same frame as the Barbatos, which is the Gundam frame, but no, it's a completely new frame. Alright, let's go into articulation. It's not as great as I would be. So the head is on a double neck joint, so it can look up, not very far actually, kind of like that, up, down a little, side to side, far back, rotate some, but again it's hindered and kind of difficult if you rotate all the way around. You can do it. The shoulder joint is on a can swing out, although it can really, the polycat can swing out a little, but I also say it was hindered because of this shoulder armor here, so it can only swing out that much if I put it that way. See, if any further than that, it will pop out. So, and oh god, the seam lines coming apart. Whatever. Moving back there. Ah, come on, get in there. Get in. There we go. Hopefully it's not gonna come out. The shoulder can move on its own, and then the arm can go out that far. The arm is on a ball joint, so it can go all the way around. There is a bicep swivel, single joint elbow, about 90 degrees, and a nice piston detail there. I do give credit for that. Very nice piston detail, even though it's not. It gives the illusion it's a piston, even though it doesn't do anything. Ball jointed wrist. And then, which again, before I mentioned that this ball joint wrist, the wrist is actually a polycat friendly build burning and denial Gundam. I mean, yeah, build burning is denial, but this will cause an issue, which I'll explain later on. There is a ball joint on top of the torso. It's really, but it's not really as much as that would be. You can't move further, and further it's kind of hindered. I'm scared about breaking it, so you cannot turn it all the way around, I think. Front skirts are on a hinge, but you can separate them like I do, but honestly you don't need to in this case since this guy's bulky. Side skirts are on a hinge and swivel. Back skirts don't move. The legs are on ball joints rather than rather than a peg joint, which doesn't go out that far. Somewhat back, out like this. You can do it's. I mean, for a bone it's pretty decent. There is no die swivel, double joint knee. Although if you I don't think if it's really kind of hindered because of the armor, so it's kind of difficult to bend out. I'll take out the legs and show how it bends. If without the armor, it will bend this far, but with the armor, it's kind of hindered. And there is a hinge. Oops, sorry. There is a hinge on top of the ankle and a ball joint on the ankle itself. And yes, it's a polycap ball joint, so it's kind of bad. It can't pop up quite easy. I mean, at least for this foot. This one's fine, I guess. Yeah, this one's a little bit of a problem. So articulation is alright. It's meh. It's okay, really. I won't say too good, too bad. Alright, for accessories, you get for hands wise, you get two holding hands and an open palm hand. Whoops. This is something that the barber should have come with. No, really, it should have. But then, but I mean, it's good in a way, bad in a way, but it should have come in an open palm hand. It's really detailed, I can tell you. It's really detailed. Unfocus. There we go. It's really detailed. I like the detail in this guy. I really like it. And other than hands, for weapons wise, you get the traditional hammer. Just it's pretty heavy. I mean, it's light when you hold it, but it's actually heavy on the top heavy. Two halves together, and it's pretty hollow, but it's still heavy. And there is a handle for you to stop and put in there. Now, this heaviness will lead to a problem on the Gusion. So when you put this in, see what happens. Actually, this shouldn't happen, but hold on, let me try it again. Let's start over again. When you put the hammer on the Gusion's hand, it will start to have a problem. See, that's one problem. If the hand will not hold the hammer so well, and okay, there's many problems especially for the hammer, hold the hammer. Okay, first thing, the wrist joint is quite weak because of that polycap. Now, I can understand they put this polycap because of the fact that when the weight of the hammer will, if it's just plastic on plastic, it will kind of wear out, which is kind of understandable. But to me, it doesn't make sense. On the Burning and Denial Gundam, these polycap wrists will be really handy because, well, the fact that his weapons are only just pure fists. So what do you expect? If you'll be swapping out his hand most of the time and be playing with hands, yeah, it comes handy. But this one, however, does not make sense, and it shouldn't have. It should have been plastic on plastic. No, really, it should have. Since they use a polycap joint and a plastic right there, this will not put much stress on the plastic, but the thing is, it will make the polycap the wrist so weak that it couldn't hold the hammer well. Sometimes it will pop off if you're not careful. So you need to be careful when you pose the Gusion with the hammer. Speaking of that, you see this? It's so heavy that the hand could not hold the hammer. It just keeps sliding on and off. I'm not sure if I think painting it might solve the problem, but I think it wouldn't. I think it wouldn't because the barber just has a similar problem like that, even after painting it. So, and of course, and what's more, the hands sometimes might be too heavy that it'll pop off the hand cover. I almost lost a hand cover because of this guy, because of the hammer. Kind of a letdown, but it should have been plastic on plastic for the wrist joint actually. But I mean, I can understand that, but the thing is, plastic. I mean, if the person knows how to skillfully use the wrist joint, it wouldn't put much stress on the wrist joint. And speaking on that, if to store the hammer, you get another adapter. It's a polycap here. You just put the ball joint here, put it on the ball joint there, and then put this piece on top of the adapter, and then we can hook the hammer like so. It stays in place, which is pretty good, but it's not sloppy as the barber toast was, which is pretty neat. And then the last accessory is machine gun, submachine gun, I would say. And basically just put in the hand like so. enough said. Okay, see what I mean? If it somehow if you're not careful, it kind of pops off a little if you're not careful. So yeah, that's about the accessories. It's pretty decent, but the thing is that hammer was kind of let down. To be fairly honest, that to store the machine gun onto the Gusion, there's a latch here. Opens up, and then there's two pegs, and there's a teeth right here. You just simply peg it inside here like so, and it holds the machine gun in place. It's really solid, so nothing to worry about there actually. But most of the time it would be put in hand like so. Going to do a comparison with the another Gundam frame, which is the Barbatos. Yeah, the Gusion can't hold himself for some reason. I gotta say, he is really tiny. He's actually smaller than Fowler. Barbatos is actually taller than Barbatos. I mean, the big Gusion, sorry. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much for the Gusion, I guess. Alright, so the review of the Gundam Gusion. Now, unfortunately, this is a little bit let down, guys. I'm sorry. I'm usually more of a guy who can let off some stuff here and there, but this guy, I mean, I have no words really. First of all, the accessories are a bit plain, which is something that is firstly the hammer and the gun. That's it. That's how much playability you can really get, and it's not even possible. I mean, for high grade this bulky, I can understand this is a bulky kid, but for that bulky, I was expecting a little bit more for a 12,000 yen kid. But the thing is, I mean, Articulation is kind of limited, but still, I can understand that it's a bulky suit. Accessories kind of limited, which is kind of let down. Those wrist joints are kind of annoying me right now, so I was planning to pose them with the hammer, but unfortunately, most of the time especially if you straight build this kid, we're gonna have a really hard time in hammer. Well, not a hard time, but rather the wrist joint's kind of weak. It's gonna fail on you, so you gotta be careful when doing that. And the fact that this kit is, I mean, it's 12,000 yen. It's pretty cheap, but the thing is, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's up to you guys, really, but it's up to you really if you like it or not. I'm not saying it's a must get like the Barbatos or the Grays, I would say. But the thing is, what I could suggest is that you wait for the variation of the Gusion. I'm pretty sure there will be one soon. I know maybe January they're going to be releasing another variation of the Gusion. I can tell you right now. So what I can tell you is wait for the variation. Unless you like the design the Gusion, I mean you can go get it if you want to. But I'm more on the neutral side in this guy rather than say don't get this kid or like bad guy this kid. So yeah, that's what it, guys. One thing for that, this guy does not have any upgrade sets, which is kind of let down. I mean, just like a reason you get some stuff here and there, but no, it's not a lot of stuff you can do with this guy. So yeah, that's what it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this review. I hope you find it useful for you when you get this kit, and show my videos. Peace out. I forgot to mention that this guy looks like a frog, or a turtle, or a toad, whatever. Well, let me show you something. If you put the Gusion like this, yeah, you can kind of think it's a frog. Really, it's a frog or a toad. I would call it a toad, really, but it's a frog. Ribbit. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, it's stupid, whatever.